Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So, if your LG dishwasher is throwing that annoying any error code and your dishes are coming out dirty, don't panic. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Most of the time, it's something simple that you can handle yourself without calling in a repair guy. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. The any error code on your LG dishwasher means the spray arms aren't rotating properly. This happens when the diverter motor, which switches water flow between the upper and lower spray arms, isn't functioning correctly. Before we start any repairs, make sure to disconnect power to your dishwasher for safety. I'm going to walk you through the most common causes, starting with the simplest fixes that cost you nothing and working our way up to the parts that might need replacing. So the most common culprit I see is something jammed in the diverter disc. We're talking chicken bones, toothpicks, maybe a piece of broken glass that fell through the dish rack. You'll get that NE code, and if you pop off the lower spray arm, you can actually see the white or blue diverter disc underneath isn't turning. Here's what you do. Pull out that lower spray arm. It usually just lifts straight up or may have a quarter turn twist lock. Then shine a flashlight down at that circular disc in the center. If there's food debris or broken glass wedged in there, carefully remove it with needle nose pliers or tweezers. This should take about 5 minutes and fixes 60% of NE codes. Once it's clear, the disc should spin freely when you give it a gentle turn with your finger. This fixes about 60% of the NE codes I see. Another thing that'll trigger the NE code is when the wiring connection between the diverter motor and the main control board gets loose or corroded. You'll usually see this as an intermittent error, works fine one day, throws the code the next. To check this, you'll need to remove that front kick panel at the bottom of your dishwasher. Look for the wiring harness that connects to the motor. Check for any frayed wires, burnt connections, or plugs that have worked themselves loose from all the vibration. If you find loose connections, just push them back together firmly. If there's corrosion on the terminals, clean it off with some fine sandpaper and make sure everything's tight. When the actual diverter motor fails, you'll get a persistent NE code even after clearing any obstructions. The motor's job is to rotate that diverter disc every 90 seconds or so to send water to different spray arms. If it's electrically failed, you can test it with a multimeter set to ohms, touch the probes to the motor's wire terminals. You should see between 2,700 and 4,000 ohms of resistance. If you get an OL reading, meaning infinite resistance or numbers way outside that range, the motor has failed and needs replacement. Now, I got to tell you, this part runs about 20 to 50 bucks depending on where you shop, and it's located underneath in the sump assembly, so it's a bit more involved to replace. The least common but most expensive issue is when the main control board stops sending power to the diverter motor. This is the brain of your dishwasher, and if it can't communicate with or power the motor properly, you'll get that NE code even though the motor itself might be perfectly fine. You can test this by putting the dishwasher into diagnostic mode, press power and start buttons together, and checking for 120 volts AC at the main board connector. On the XD series models, you're looking at connector NA8, checking between the orange and brown wires. If there's no voltage there when there should be, the control board needs replacement, and that's going to run you over 100 bucks for the part. The vario motor, that's the part that controls which spray arms get water, runs anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks depending on where you shop. You can find these at appliance parts stores, online retailers, or even some of the big box stores. This is definitely worth fixing if your dishwasher is less than 8 years old. The tricky part is getting to it. It's mounted underneath in the sump assembly, so you'll need to tip the dishwasher back and remove some panels. Not impossible, but it's a moderate DIY repair that'll take you an afternoon. The micro switch that tells the control board where the motor is positioned typically costs about 15 to 25 bucks. This little guy can fail and cause the NE code even when the motor's working fine. You can test it with a multimeter, should show 5 volts DC when open and 0 volts when closed. The switch is usually attached right to the motor assembly, so if you're already replacing the motor, might as well do both at the same time. Here's one that gets overlooked all the time, the rubber gasket that seals the diverter cover. This thing costs maybe 5 to 10 bucks, but if it's missing or damaged, you'll lose water pressure and the spray arms won't rotate properly. I had this customer last month who was ready to buy a new dishwasher, and it turned out to be this little rubber seal that had popped out of place. Always check this before you start throwing parts at the problem. Might save you a bunch of money. Let's break down the repair costs because here's the thing, even if you need to buy parts, you're looking at spending $20 to $100 versus a service call that'll run you $200 to $400. That's potentially $300 back in your pocket for about an hour of your time. You can see right there on your screen the most common LG dishwasher models that run into these NE code issues. Take a look, you might even spot your own model number up there. The patterns I see are pretty consistent across these different series, so the fixes I've shown you should work regardless of which specific model you've got. Here's your action plan for fixing the NE error code. Step 1. Check for debris in the diverter disc under the lower spray arm. Step 2. If that doesn't work, inspect wiring connections at the kick panel. Step 3. Test the vario motor with a multimeter. Step 4. As a last resort, check the main control board. Remember, start simple and work your way up. Don't skip to expensive parts first. Don't let a $20 part trick you into buying a $900 dishwasher. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your dishwasher working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.